How's it hanging? This is the Objective Jerk, is what you are listening to. And I am said jerk. What's up? How's it hanging? I'm gonna bring that back, dude. How's it hanging, bro? Not that it's completely gone. People still say it, but I'm gonna start saying it on the podcast. How's it hanging? Because it does appear that I'd have no female audience. So, anyway, so what's going on, everybody? Let's see what's going on in the news. Don Lemon is a fucking idiot. He is such an insufferable piece of shit. I cannot stand, he is just the most non-genuine, ingenuous, disingenuous piece of shit. That, oh my God, I can't stand to listen to him try and finagle his, and he's just, I don't understand. He's so just lost, He got fired from CNN because he sucks. Then he, what's his face? Guy that owns Tesla, what's his name? Elon Musk gave him a job to be, with X, and then he just immediately starts attacking Elon Musk about his prior, you know what I mean? Trying to give him some exposure, and hey, you're going to be on X, and he just blew it because he's trying to be. He wants to be like the guy that's exposing the fraud and everything in Minneapolis with the Somali pirate daycare. You know what I mean? That's what, because all he did, the guy's huge, getting followers, all this kind of stuff, breaking up all kinds of fraud and scandal and bringing up, you know what I mean? That's what Don Lemon wants, but he wants it from the crazy left side, which the right doesn't really do. Yes, there is corruption, there is fraud, there is bigotry, there is, what do you call it? Just hypocrisy on both sides, but the left is so much worse. And it's like he's trying to, I don't know, but he's just an idiot. Every time he goes out in public and tries to, he's such a moron, dude. These guys are just idiots. And he went along with this. They named him. He is going to be charged. I don't know if he's going to go to jail. I hope he does, though. But yeah, so that's insane. Anyway, the FACE Act or whatever, which some people call the Ku Klux Klan Act because it was created to fight, because Ku Klux Klan used to go to churches in the South and disrupt, black folks during service and all this kind of stuff. And so that's where the law came in, and then now you got a black man on Martin Luther King Day. I don't know, I just find the whole thing hilarious. It's sad, ridiculous, and hilarious at the same time. What? I got my cat here. Hey, shh, I thought you were sleeping. Oh man, I gotta let her out. Come here. Hopefully I remember to edit that out. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This cat. So this cat that I have is like a calico cat. She's got patches from, both her parents and everything like that. What's crazy is this cat she just showed up. I came walking out of my house in the front yard, out of the front yard to where we park, and she just kind of comes up and starts rubbing on me, and I'm like, what the hell? What's this cat doing? And I was like, oh my gosh. That happens to me a lot. I'm not an animal lover. I like animals. I like animals to be treated, decently. But I'm not the type of person that just lets my pets do whatever they want, sleep wherever they want. And I don't spoil my pets, but they have a huge yard to run around. I make sure they're fed and they're watered. When I'm in the mood, I'll give them attention, but I'm not always. I'm kind of weird like that. I can't give them, I don't know, that's just how I am. But so, I don't like to see animals suffering. So I've told the story about my one cat, the orange one, how we got her. And then this one, she just showed up, and I was like, and I was kind of thinking that my cat Ginger, she needed a buddy to play with, So I was like, okay, we'll hold on to her, I guess. She seems pretty, friendly. So we've had her for a little while now. Got her fixed and stuff like that. But she is like my other cat, Ginger. She is not real. She's like my kind of cat because she doesn't want attention. She just wants to be fed, and there's water, and then she's pretty much content. Yeah, sometimes she'll kind of come up, but she's not. She wants to play more than be pet. She's not cuddly. She doesn't want, to be caressed. She wants to either play or sleep or eat, And that's kind of more my lane. But this other one, man, she is just all about rubbing up on you and wants attention and stuff like that. But what's funny too is that she is a mass murderer of mice and rats, which is, it's the biggest reason I have cats, especially here out in this farm area. We got farmland, so farm field rats and mice, are all over the place. Find little baby mice all over I don't know what the heck she does. She finds nests, she kills the parents, and then she lets the babies suffer, and then one by one, I don't know what she does. She's like a serial killer of mice and rats. I'm not joking. And she'll bring them in the house and throw them in when they're dead, and throw them in the air and play with them and this and that. And so she did it last night, I guess. She had a mouse that she was messing with. It was bleeding out. It was still alive. My oldest son felt bad for it, so he killed it, squished its head with some kind of whatever, I don't know. And then he tossed it over our property wall into the farmland area, which right now it's a bunch of corn stalks growing. Well, this morning she brings it back. And so she's got a dead mouse. I'm like, man, she's got another one. And then Gaius, he was there when, I just said my son's name, but my youngest son saw when my oldest son killed, the rat to finish it off, or the mouse. So when he saw it again, he's like, no, that's the one from last night, So I was like, what the crap? So I get a paper towel, I toss it over the side. And then a half hour later, she went over there and she grabbed it and she brought it back again. And she's throwing it in the air in the kitchen and playing with it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, good job. Okay. But stop bringing them in the house. So I flushed it down the toilet so she can't get it there. Day in the life in the Philippines. What's up? But yeah, so that's going on. I recorded my second Star Trek film that I talk about. So I posted the first Star Trek film I watched, and I never seen it before, and so I talked about it. And then I'm doing all of the films, but I just don't want to do them one after another. So, but I did end up watching it with my son, and I wanted to talk about it when it was still kind of fresh, So I recorded it. I haven't posted it yet. So I'm gonna post this episode, and then 4 days from now, then I'll post that one. Trying to have some sort of system, I guess. So it's gonna be a little weird because I'm gonna talk about things on that podcast, which is I think I bring it up like it's old news. You're gonna be like, what the crap? This guy's talking from the past. But I did talk about a YouTuber, and I couldn't remember his channel's name, and now I just blanked again. But it's something like Totally Awesome Films or something. It's something like that. He does some pretty good, some videos on James Bond and Star Trek and other stuff. So if that's just something you're into. I couldn't remember his name to try and be like, hey, this is... So, anyway... What I'm talking about today is an old news kind of headline. So there, I don't know. Sometimes I miss stuff, but I mean, this is a long time ago. But did you know that there was a car bomb assassination in Washington, D.C. here on American soil? I somehow missed that. I never heard that. I don't know. Or maybe I heard it, but I just didn't really soak it in or something. But to me, that's crazy. I was like, what? There was a car bomb? It was in the 70s. But yes, there was a car bomb here in America. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Because I don't really know much about it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. is check it out. So basically, the car bomb was to assassinate Orlando Letelier. Oh man, let's see. Does it have how you pronounce his name? Crap. Hold on, let me see so I can say it right. Let me click here. Letelier. I don't know. They don't have a thing. Dang it. How do you pronounce that? So he's French? No, Chilean. Why would he be French? So Letelier. I'm gonna say Letelier. Letelier. That's about as close as I can get. Anyway, Orlando Letelier, a former Chilean diplomat and outspoken opponent of dictator Augusto Pinochet, or whatever, same last name as that one actor guy, was assassinated in Washington, D.C., United States, by a car bomb planted by agents of the Chilean secret police as part of Operation Condor. Ooh, I love that movie. It's a Jackie Chan. Letelier, who had been living in exile in the U.S., was killed alongside Ronni Moffitt, a colleague at the Institute of Policy Studies. Declassified U.S. intelligence documents indicate that Pinochet, I think I'm saying that wrong, but personally ordered the assassination, which was intended to eliminate a leading voice of Chilean resistance and disrupt the international opposition to his regime. So I'm kind of curious. So I have this on Wikipedia, which just does a basic whatever. I'm going to read it. And then I'm going to read, there was a couple articles talking, it was like, I don't know, 10 years ago though. It was an anniversary. So I have a left-wing article talking about it, and I have a right-wing. And I'm just kind of curious to see how they're both going to talk about it. Anyway, background. In 1971, Letelier was appointed ambassador to the United States by Salvador Allende, the socialist president of Chile. Socialist. Letelier had lived in Washington, D.C. during the 60s and has supported Allende's campaign for presidency. Allende believed Letelier's experience and connections in international banking would be highly beneficial to developing U.S.-Chile diplomatic relations. Socialism, banking, it's kind of weird. During 1973, Letelier served successfully as Minister of Foreign Affairs, then Interior Minister, and finally Defense Minister. After the Chilean coup of 1973 that brought Augusto Pinochet, I know I'm saying it wrong, but to power, Letelier was one of the first members of the Allende administration to be arrested by the Chilean government and sent to a political prison in Terra de Fuego, whatever, I don't know. He was held for 12 months in different concentration camps and suffered severe torture, first at the Tacna Regiment, then at the military academy. Later, he was sent to a political prison for 8 months at Dawson Island. From there, he was transferred to the basement of the Air Force War Academy, and finally to the concentration camp of Ritoku. I'm saying most of this stuff wrong, so I know that. Eventually, international diplomatic pressure, especially from Diego Araya, then governor of the Federal District of Venezuela, they're in the news now, and United States Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, resulted in Letelier's sudden release on the condition that he immediately leave Chile for Venezuela. He was told by the officer in charge of his release that the arm of Dinah is long. General Pinochet will not and does not tolerate activities against this government. This was a clear warning to Letelier that living outside of Chile would not guarantee his safety. After his release, man, how long is this? That was a little more information than I was expecting. After his release in 1974, he moved to Washington, D.C., where he became a senior fellow of the Institute for Policy Studies, an independent international policy studies think tank. He plunged into writing, speaking, and lobbying the U.S. Congress and European governments against Augusto Pinochet's regime, and soon he became the leading voice of the Chilean resistance, in the process preventing several loans, especially from Europe, from being awarded to the military government. So he was stopping funding and stuff. He was described by his colleagues as being the most respected and effective spokesman in the international campaign to condemn and isolate Pinochet's government. Letelier was assisted at the Institute for Policy Studies by Ronni Moffitt, 25-year-old fundraiser who had run a music carry-out program that produced musical instruments for the poor and also campaigned for democracy in Chile. Democracy. I don't know. Sorry, getting some coffee. Letelier soon became a person of interest for Operation Condor, a campaign initiated by right-wing governments in South America to gather intelligence on opposition movements and to assassinate the leaders of these movements. Former general and political figure Carlos Prats, who had become a vocal opponent of the Pinochet, I'm trying to figure it out, but Pinochet? Pinochet? Is it Pinochet in the silent T? I think that's what it is. Pinochet. Pinochet. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Pinochet government was killed in Buenos... Wait, what? Oh, no, okay. By a radio-controlled car bomb, September of 74, an assassination planned and executed by members of DINA. I want to say Dino. Come here, Dino. Letelier's pro-democracy campaign and his vehement criticism of, what did I say? Pinochet had been under watch by the Chilean government. Letelier became a target for DINA director Manuel Contreras' efforts to eliminate resistance to the Pinochet government. October 75, Letelier became the director of planning and development for the International Political Economy Program, an international think tank, a lot of think tanks, progressive politics. Maybe this Panache dude did us a favor. Affiliated with the Institute for Policy Studies. Through the Institute's operations in the Netherlands, Letelier convinced the Dutch government not to invest in Chilean mining industry. In September 76, the Chilean government revoked Letelier's Chilean citizenship. Pinochet signed a decree declaring that the former ambassador's citizenship be canceled due to his interference with normal financial support to Chile and his efforts to hinder or prevent the investment of Dutch capital in Chile. Later that day, in a speech delivered at the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden, Letelier, did I just say it right? Letelier? I don't know. Today, Pinochet has signed a decree in which it is said that, quote, this is quote, sorry, that I am deprived of my nationality. This is an important day for me, a dramatic day in my life in which the action of the fascist generals against me make me feel more Chilean than ever because we are the true Chileans. In tradition of Higgins, Balmaceda, blah, 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 and the fascist. I don't know, see, like, I'm reading this and all I'm hearing is, like, crazy liberal lefts today. You know what I mean? They are the fascists, are the enemies of Chile, the traitors who are selling out our country to foreign investments. I mean, maybe he was right, but I don't know. I was born a Chilean, I'm a Chilean, I will die Chilean. They were born traitors, they live as traitors, and they'll be known. See, I don't know, it's like, with the crap that's going on now, you go back and read some of the stuff about this, it's like, I don't know, man. We'll see. I bet you, I'm curious now to read the different articles, the left-wing article and the right-wing about this. I'm curious to see what they're going to say. Anyway, okay, now the attack. All right, Orlando Letelier was driving to work in D.C. on September of 76 with Ronni Moffitt and her husband. Oh, it was a female? I thought it was a girl. Oh, that's her right there, Ronni Moffitt. Okay, and her husband of 4 months, Michael. Letelier was driving while Moffitt was in the front passenger seat and Michael was in the back behind his wife. As they rounded Sheridan Circle and Embassy Row at 9:30, an explosion erupted under the car, lifting it off the ground when the car came to a halt after colliding with a Volkswagen illegally parked in front of the Irish embassy. Michael was able to escape from the rear end of the car by crawling out the back window. He then saw his wife stumbling away from the car and, assuming that she was safe, went to assist Letelier, who was still in the driver's seat, barely conscious and appearing to be in great pain. Letelier's head was rolling back and forth. His eyes moved slightly, and he muttered unintelligibly. Michael tried to remove Letelier from the car. See, this dude's... these are retarded liberals, dude. If I'm in a car with my wife and it gets blown up, I don't give a shit who's in the front seat. I don't care if it's Trump or whoever. I'm taking care of my wife first. Sorry, but... Anyway, I mean, I guess he did go and help the guy, so he's not like that douchebag that just let his friend, who was a girl, fiance, wife, girlfriend, get assaulted. I don't know. Anyway, Michael tried to remove Letelier from the car, but was unable to do so, despite the fact that much of Letelier's lower torso was blown away and his legs had been severed. Okay, at that point, I mean, unless you're going to put a tourniquet on, dude, go make sure your wife is good. Both Ronni, Moffitt, and Orlando were taken to the George Washington University Medical Center. Shortly thereafter, at the hospital, it was discovered that Ronnie's larynx and carotid artery had been severed by a piece of flying shrapnel. So I guess she wouldn't have made it anyway, man. What's he going to do? She drowned in her own blood some 30 minutes after Letelier's death, while Michael suffered only minor head wound. Michael estimated the bomb was detonated at approximately 9:30. The medical examiner reports at the time of Letelier's death at 9:50 and Moffitt's at 10:30. The cause of death for both listed as explosion, incurred injuries due to a car bomb placed in the car on the driver's side. Diego Araya intervened once again by bringing Letelier's body to Caracas, Venezuela for burial, where it remained until the end of Pinochet's rule. So that's just kind of crazy though, man. A car bomb. I mean, it was the 70s. 70s was a crazy time. But it was crazy everywhere else, you know? Not so much. I mean, yeah, I mean, you had the, you know, the hippies and civil rights and all that kind of stuff, but... And see, all this kind of crap was just like... I mean, there's still shit going on in the world, but in America, it basically was non-existent. All this kind of crap. And it's like... Then it was brought back by the left. Racism. All, you know, just everything. Nobody cared about gay people. I mean, some people who are like hardcore Christians who, and the thing is Christians don't hate gay people because they can, you know, but they just don't like them trying to, you know, because it is a sin. So it's like but are there people who are like, oh, you're going to hell, you worthless garbage gays, you know? Yeah, there are, you know. And there's still racist people, but man, it was so non-existent. And then now it's like, you look at the way things are right now, it's like we're back in the 60s again. And it's been created by our own government. It's insane. Anyway, cover up effort. Let's see. The United States Department of Justice affidavit from August 91 detailed the efforts of the Pinochet regime to cover up its role in the assassination of Letelier and Moffitt. The extensive efforts were codenamed Operation Massacarada. Investigators initially determined that the explosion was caused by a plastic explosive molded to concentrate the force of its blast into the driver's seat. The bomb was attached by wires or magnets to the car's underside, probably magnets, and blew a circular hole 2.5 feet in diameter in the driver's seat. Oof. The bomb was not believed to have been controlled by a timing device or a remote-controlled detonator. Not believed. Timing. So somebody was watching and detonated, I guess. In the days after the incident, spokespersons for the United States Department of State said the department expresses its gravest concern about Dr. Orlando Letier's death due to the assassination of Pratt's and the attempted assassination of Bernardo Leighton. The incident was believed to have been the latest of a series of state-sponsored assassination attempts against Chilean political exiles. A spokesman from the FBI said this was the first incident of violence against Chilean exiles on American soil, according to agency. It's the first car bomb, though, wasn't it? I mean, how many car bombs have happened? Oh, it's kind of crazy. A week after the assassination, the FBI's legal attaché in Buenos Aires sent a classified cable report to Washington based on high-level source in the Argentine, whatever, that stated that the murder was likely the work of Operation Condor. The report designated Chilbom, stated that Chile was the center of Operation Condor. Every time I say that, I think of the Jackie Chan movie. And the third most secret phase of Operation Condor involves the formation of special teams, blah, blah, blah. FBI eventually uncovered evidence that Michael Townley, a Dina U.S. expatriate, had organized the assassination of Orlando, who was also implicated in the murder, had also been given visas under the United States. In 1978, Chile agreed to turn Townley over to the United States, where he began to testify extensively. Townley pleaded guilty and confessed that he had contacted 5 anti-Castro Cuban exiles to help him booby-trap Letelier's car. Something. According to, was the meeting led to Letelier's death and is also the Cubano bombing 2 weeks later. Townley also agreed to provide evidence against these men in exchange for a deal that involved his pleading guilty to a single charge of conspiracy to commit murder and being given a 10-year sentence. What happened with this dude? Michael Townley. I'm going to see what's up with him. The guy is still alive. Born in Iowa, American-born, former agent of DINA, secret police of Chile. He pleaded guilty to the murders. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison, serving 62 months as a part of his plea bargain. Townley received immunity from further prosecution. He was not extradited to Argentina to stand trial for the 1974 assassination of Chilean General Carlos Prats and his wife. In 1993, Townley was also convicted in something by Italian court of carrying out the 1975 Rome murder attempt of Bernardo Leighton. Townley worked in producing chemical weapons for DINA. He has long maintained status as a protected witness. Convicted. Let me see. What's he doing now? Investigations. There's a lot of crap on him. Alright, let's see. 2023 confession publication. In November 2023, Townley's confessions about his 4-year career as a DINA assassin were produced in full and published together for the first time by the National Security Archive. Despite this, the National Security Archive website also acknowledged that over the years, references to Townley's confession have appeared in books and articles. I don't know, was he kind of a fall guy? Or, I mean, like, okay, he did it, but who? I don't know. Let's see, and Chilean government suggested in 2015 that it's highly probable that a third party was responsible for Nerada's death. I don't know who Nerada was. Oh, Pablo Nerado. Oh, that's something else. Okay. It doesn't really say. So wait, where's he living now? He's just living in the States, chilling after assassinating a bunch of people. It's crazy. All right, let's see. Let me go back. Diplomatic resolution. Okay, I'm already at almost 30 minutes, so I need to get going. Shoot. Okay. All right, so here is the Liberal article, which I hope it lets me. It's got a thing here. The Intercept, I don't know. And, the title is How Henry Kissinger Paved the Way for Orlando Letelier's Assassination. So they're trying to make it like, see, this is how, because I think Kissinger was conservative. So, of course, they're going to try and... Okay, anyway. The former minister was, blah, blah, blah. Letelier was assassinated in the heart of Washington, which is still crazy to me. Even in exile, Letelier still had a target on his back. Oh, it won't let me read anymore. I don't want to support us. Go suck a dick. I'm not going to support you. You can come support my liberal magazine. Alright, here. Then I'm going to read Fox now, I guess. Chilean dictator Pinochet personally ordered assassination of diplomat, documents reveal. Newly declassified U.S. intelligence documents revealed Thursday that Chilean dictator Pinochet personally ordered the assassination. Orlando Letelier, former defense, we know all that, later had been top official under Marxist See, was ousted in the coup. We hope that studying these documents will shine a light on both Pinochet's role in the killing and the judicial system that never tried the dictator for the crime. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how this all happened. That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they did cover it up, or they wanted it. Because he was a socialist, so I'm sure they allowed it to happen, basically, or didn't care. When I say they, I mean us, America, government. Letelier has said that he received copies of the documents on behest. Documents were originally sent to George Shultz. There's also proof in the document of how Pinochet sought to block the investigations and the cover-up, his name and the responsibility. Document includes State Department cable summarizing a series of informant reports from the years. One document includes an assertion from the former head of Chilean intelligence security. Okay, I read that already. In 2005, Contreras and his second in command were convicted in Letelier's death. Okay. Pinochet ruled Chile from 73 to 90. He was never tried in the death. So that's kind of all it says. I wonder is there any comments? Oh, man. Nope. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know. There's always been this battle against Christianity and Satan. And the Satan aspect is the Masons, socialism. It's always been, good and evil against each other. I mean, it's kind of, turned into. So you have people who are fighting the good fight for maybe the Christian kind of ideals, but they're not Christian. It's more, they look at as political and stuff, and their political party and stuff. But it's been going on forever, man. It's and it's still going on today. And you have people trying to push all these socialist ideology and all this kind of, all this crap. And that's the thing, man, is like, just if you sit there and be like, well, why are they trying so hard? Like, does it really make sense to you to have trans men compete in women's sports and men being able to go in bathrooms and jerk off on camera in front of, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, it's okay. Like, why is that okay? That makes no sense. But that's just a tiny sliver of the pie, with all this other kind of crap. Like, what is it? It's good versus evil. They're trying to. That's why Don Lemon's, why was it a Christian church? Well, supposedly because one of the ICE agents, I guess. But would he have done that if the ICE agent was, Muslim or Jewish, or, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just, there's always these little things, these little attacks. You see in sports teams, they want to have rainbow jerseys or rainbow this and that. But if somebody puts Jesus or puts, any kind of Bible verse, they get in trouble. They can't mention Jesus. You go to a Coke machine that you can put any name on it, Mohammed, this and that. But, you can't put Jesus. Why is that? Doesn't that seem a little weird? Isn't that kind of weird? Why is there such this attack on Christianity, and more specifically Catholicism? Think about it. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you think. Appreciate your time. I'll see you guys next time, and God bless. All right, bye.